Hey everyone, and welcome. So it's that time of the year, isn't it? The final year project. I know, it can feel like this massive mountain you have to climb. But what if I told you it's also probably the single biggest launchpad for your career? Well, today we're going to demystify this whole process, taking you from a totally blank screen to a project that's a killer asset for your future.
And look, if you're feeling a bit lost right now, maybe staring at a long list of project ideas and just wondering, where do I even start? You are definitely not alone. The pressure is absolutely real. But that feeling of being overwhelmed, that's exactly what we're going to turn into pure confidence and clarity today.
Okay, let's just dive right in. First things first, we need a little mindset shift. Your final year project, it's not just another assignment you have to check off a list to get a grade. No way. Think of it as your ticket into the professional world.
Seriously, think of it this way. A great project is basically your career superpower. It does all the talking for you. I mean, in a job interview, instead of just saying you know Python or machine learning, you can tell a story of how you used it to solve a real problem. Recruiters love that stuff. It's actual proof you can do the job.
All right, theory is great, but let's get our hands dirty and be practical. To show you exactly how this all works, we're going to walk through a real-world example. It's this really impressive AI project that predicts water quality. Just think of this as our blueprint for success.
And here it is. This is our map for today. This project, water quality prediction using LSTM and GRU, is up on GitHub right now. But don't just see it as a bunch of code in a folder. No, think of this repository as a complete guide. It shows us the entire life cycle of a successful project, from the very beginning to the very end.
So what is it in a nutshell? Well, it's a deep learning project that uses Python to analyze a bunch of water quality data and then predict if that water is safe to drink. And it uses two really powerful models to do it, LSTM and GRU, which, don't worry, we're going to get into in just a bit. So let's say you found a project like this that really inspires you. What is the very first concrete thing you do? It's getting the code off the internet and onto your own computer. Let's break down just how easy that is. It is literally this simple. You find the repository, you click that big green code button you see, and you copy the URL. Then, just pop open your terminal, type git clone, paste in the link, and hit enter. And boom! Just like that, the entire project is downloaded onto your computer, ready for you to start exploring. From there, really, all you have to do is install the libraries listed in the instructions, and you're good to go.
All right, we've got the code. Now for the really fun part, understanding the magic that's happening behind the scenes. Let's pull back the curtain on these deep learning models that are powering the whole thing. And trust me, we'll make this super clear. Now this diagram might look a little complicated, but it's really just a flowchart. See on the left? The raw data comes in, it gets cleaned up, pre-processed, then it hits a fork in the road where the data is split. That big chunk, 80%, is used to teach our AI models. The other 20% is kept separate so we can test how well they've learned. And that all leads to the final result over on the right. So what in the world is an LSTM? Okay, imagine an AI that doesn't just look at one piece of data at a time, but it actually has a memory of the data that came right before it. That's an LSTM. It's perfect for what we call time series data, like daily readings of water quality, because it's designed specifically to spot trends and patterns over time. And then you've got GRU. You can think of GRU as the newer, more efficient cousin of LSTM. It also has a memory to understand sequences, but it's built with a much simpler architecture. And what that often means is that it can be trained faster without really sacrificing much performance, which is a huge bonus. This chart gives us a perfect side-by-side comparison. Think of LSTM on the left as kind of the heavyweight champion. It's more complex, potentially more accurate. And then on the right, you've got GRU, the streamlined contender. It's simpler and faster. What's so smart about this project is that it uses both. It lets them compete against each other to see which one performs best for this specific problem. So, you've built the project, you understand the code. Now it's time for the final boss, the viva, or the project defense. This is where you have to prove you really know your stuff. So let's get you ready to absolutely crush those tough questions. This is a classic. I can almost guarantee your professor will ask you this. They want to know if you just copied some code you found online or if you actually understood the why behind your choices. So, how do you answer? Here is your winning formula right here. You start by defining your data. You say, well, water quality data is a time series. Then you explain why your tools are the right fit. You say, LSTM and GRU are specifically designed to find patterns over time, these temporal dependencies. And then the knockout punch.
I actually implemented both models so I could compare them and prove which one was better for this specific dataset. That is a confident, well-reasoned answer.
And here's another one you're almost guaranteed to get. They want to see if you understand the whole process, from beginning to end, from the raw data to the final result. It's your chance to show that you're in command of the big picture.
You just walk them through it one logical step at a time. First, I started with data collection. Then, I pre-processed it to get it clean. I split it up so I could have a fair test, trained the models, and then evaluated their performance on data they'd never seen before. Finally, the winning model gets deployed. It's clear, it's concise, and it's complete.
So we've seen what a great project looks like, how it works, and even how to defend it. Now for the most important part of all, turning all this inspiration into your own action.
And let's not forget who actually built this amazing project. This wasn't made by some giant tech company. It was built by a student, Yash Kohenkar, somebody who was in the exact same spot you are right now, someone who decided to turn their final year project into something genuinely impressive.
Now, just look at his professional bio on GitHub. He doesn't just say he's a student, right? He identifies as a software and full-stack developer. He's highlighting his skills in specific tech stacks. This is the transformation we're talking about, using your project to build your professional identity before you even graduate. Okay, so here's your homework. Go on to GitHub and find this repository. Give it a star to show some support for the great work. Then, fork it. That creates your own personal copy that you can experiment with and change. This is how you start building on the work of others, which is really the heart of open source and a fantastic way to learn.
And that brings us to the final and most important question of all. We've seen how one project can tackle something as big as water quality. Now, it's your turn. Think about the skills you have, think about the problems that you care about, and ask yourself, what problem will your project solve? Your journey starts right now.